Jumping right into it, we're going to show live exclusive gameplay of The Division 2. Yeah. I have with me Matthias Carlson, right? Producer.
Matthias Carlson, yes.
And Christian Panner, game director and producer respectively. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
Yeah, you
super
excited?
excited. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, congrats on the exciting reveal at the Microsoft conference and obviously the amazing news during the UB conference. Yeah. So today, to our left, we've got Yannick Bonchereau, comm dev on The Division 2, and 3 other devs from the massive development team. They'll be showing a 4-player co-op tackling a control post. And Yannick will be walking us through a little bit into his strategy. But first of all, I wanted to ask you guys, what are we going to see here?
Well, this is, first of all, actually the E3 demo that we're showcasing here at E3. Right?
So people can play this
yes,
at the LAC,
yes.
at the Ubisoft.
If you're in LA and you're going to E3, you can play what they're playing right now. So
that's awesome.
That's really cool. So this is it's a tiny little slice of the open world in Washington, D.C. in the Division 2, right? And this is actually, they're on their way towards that same crash site that we saw in the E3.
Right, the
Microsoft brief, yeah.
Yeah, the crash of the Air Force One. Except
exactly.
right now, it's tackling. Right now, it's tackling at a different entry point than what was shown at the Microsoft conference. Am I right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so obviously the big reveal was the setting, Washington D.C., capital city of America. Christian, I want to ask you, what was the reasoning behind that? Can you tell us a bit more?
Yes, absolutely. We were very excited to showcase that yesterday in our reveal and to show more, of course, today. We have multiple options. We investigated multiple options, but for us, Washington D.C. We investigated multiple options, but for us, Washington D.C. felt like the natural choice for 2 obvious reasons. One, of course, is the seat of power in U.S., and second, it's also the home of the headquarters of the division.
Right, the HQ of the division agents,
absolutely.
Right? That's awesome. And I can see there is no more snow nor ice. Can you tell us a little more about really the timeline from the division to the Division 2?
Yes, absolutely. In Washington, D.C., we are now in the middle of the summer, 7 months after the events in New York City. So the summer, the season, allow us to showcase a vibrant city where nature is now taking over the city.
It's beautiful. Hey Yannick, can you do just like a pan? Oh, I guess you're in action right now, but just like the pan of the city here. I mean, obviously, it's beautiful in its own way. It's got character. Yannick, why don't you tell us a bit more on how you plan to tackle your playthrough?
Try to spread around actually, so we can have a bit of a tactical approach to things and not just like face tank. So that's we'll see how that plays out.
I think we should pay extra attention to Yannick.
Yes, exactly, and just judge him.
Don't
no
judge
pressure.
me. I've been judged for my hand wave already earlier. So.
Okay, so Matthias and Christian, I played some of the Division. I haven't played hundreds of hours like the thousands of players out there. If there was a few things you could say about the Division 2 that new players should know, what would you say?
The list is long. I mean, we're very excited, both as gamers at the office and as devs, right? Of all the things we refined, tweaked, and tuned from the Division 1. Everything from the combat to refining the RPG and all that. So there's a lot of that, but also a lot of new things. So I think where they are right now, the open world is one of them. It's first of all 20% bigger than the first game, New York. And it's very, very faithfully recreated, almost one-to-one with the actual DC, right?
That's amazing. And sorry to cut you off, but Christian, you mentioned, so you guys chose watching the DC. I'm curious, did the team take any trips there to kind of really get an authentic recreation of Washington, DC?
Absolutely. We had multiple trips after we chose this setting, and we met with different architects from the city, with urban explorers, with artists from local artists
that's awesome.
To make sure that everything it's looking beautiful in the game.
So people living in Washington, DC can kind of walk around and try to find their homes?
Absolutely. Although this is an interpretation of Washington, our interpretation of Washington DC is going to be a bit more, let's say, with more nature into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then also this open world in the Division 2 is very much alive. We put a lot of love, sweat, and effort into creating this living world system where not just the enemy factions of the world spread out in different areas, right? But also the civilians that you're fighting to help and protect. They're all doing things in the open world dynamically.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they're acting on needs for resources and goals of what they're trying to achieve, not least to control these key strategic locations like this control point here by the crash site. This creates a lot of movement and activity, and ultimately things for you to do as a player and surprise.
Right.
Because you don't know what's going to happen around the next corner. Right?
Absolutely, a lot of gameplay opportunities for the player to kind of pick and choose exactly what it is that they want to do. And so right now, they have reached the control point. I take it. How you doing there, Yannick?
That's fine. We are kind of, we all enter from the same area. Actually, we just try to rush into it, and we are pushing our way through. So far, it's fine, but we have the tank coming now. So.
Oh well, good luck with that. Matthias, so what faction are they playing against right now?
They're playing against a faction called the True Sons. Nasty people.
Nasty people that they should get rid of.
Yeah.
And so I know another big reveal, big new feature that was mentioned during the Ubisoft conference are the specializations. Right. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Specializations is really adds a new extra layer and dimension to endgame, where you've been going on this incredible journey through the game, through the leveling game, the campaign. You've been growing in both power and capability.
Right.
You've been getting new skills, mods for those skills, weapons and gear, etc. When you get to endgame, you're presented with a choice of how do you really truly want to specialize now.
Right.
The first choice is the signature weapons that we saw in the conference, right?
Right, and I think it's important to note, I think that these specializations, they're not like roles that a player kind of sticks to. They can kind of choose to grow which skill tree, am I right?
Absolutely. Each one of them is a progression track in itself. It's not just a signature weapon, and this signature weapon, it's important to note, it sits on top of the rest of your toolbox. You're not changing something out, you're gaining more things.
Right.
And then, very much along the lines of the design philosophy that we have, you're growing capability. So you can progress one specialization all the way, then the next one, and the next one.
And then you become the ultimate player.
Exactly, you get full flexibility to
And you're gonna need to become that, because we also announced today that for the first time in a division game we have raids.
Oh yeah,
which
that's
are
right.
Absolutely incredible challenges.
That's an 8-player co-op, is that
absolutely. It's up to 8-player co-op, and you need to be prepared for that. It's gonna be very hard to tackle that challenge.
That is very cool. Yannick, how are we doing here?
Like that.
Like
just
that?
blowing stuff up with my grenade launcher.
Have you been downed yet?
So Yannick, you're playing the demolition specialization, am I right?
Yes.
Can you show us what's signature weapon you've got equipped there?
Yeah, I got that nice grenade launcher here. And so I get to make a lot of very nice explosions.
You get to blow shit up?
Yeah, like that.
And our other massive developers here, I believe are playing Survivalist and Sharpshooter, am I right?
That's correct.
I don't know if we can get the player, the audience to see the skill set of the other specialists. I believe that's the Sharpshooter, am I right?
That's correct, yeah. So the demolition list that Jank is playing has the grenade launcher, which is all about, radius, controlling an area, creating mayhem, flushing enemies out of cover, getting several of them in the blast at the same time, etc. Right?
Absolutely.
Whereas the sharpshooter has this super powerful sniper rifle, 50 cal, that can penetrate several targets. So you can find your angles and line them up, and this feature that we have very prevalently in Division 2 on the enemy archetypes, the weak points that are associated with the enemy's special abilities.
Oh, that's great.
You can pop all of those coming in and out of the target.
Looks like Yannick actually did it. He
did.
captured the control
You
point.
did it!
Congratulations.
Yay, congrats!
That's surprising, I have to
That's
It is surprising.
I feel like he didn't do as good during the rehearsals, but I feel like the pressure has caused him to up his game. All right, so if I think we're done taking over this control point